All right, everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Jacob Gospel podcast. So, as a coach, I'm talking today about vision. Vision. Every client that I work with, one of the first things that we talk about is what do they want? What results do they want? What are they looking to gain by working with me? And that's what's their vision? Where do they see themselves in 20 years? Where do they see themselves in 5 years? What about next week? Um, so working through all those things, most most clients absolutely have no clue of where they want to go. They have an idea of what it looks like, or what it may seem like, or in comparison to someone else. Like they want to be like Tony Robbins, or they want to be like Tillman Fertitta. But what do they actually have the vision in themselves? When they close their eyes, can they envision them doing those things? And that makes a big difference, because if you can't see it, then chances are you can't do it. But if you can see it, if you can truly have the imagination to see yourself in the future in your own mind doing something, and you can feel it in your heart doing something, that's a much greater chance that you could accomplish that goal. So talking about all that, it's not easy to do. Remember, we talked last week about personal change and how simple it is. It's just very, very simple. Vision is no different. It's very simple. Just use your imagination. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Same thing like personal change. So what you see a lot of people talk about vision boards. So vision boards they put them up, and pictures in front of your mind. People watch videos and make videos of people doing things so they can see it, because you could constantly see those things. And the more you see it, the more you get conditioned to that's being normal. So let's just use the example: somebody wants a new home or a new truck. Well, they'll get the particular color, the exact truck that they want, tinted windows, the rims and tires, everything that they want. And they'll take a picture of that truck and they'll put it up on that board. And every day in their office, in their home, they'll keep it, some people do it electronically on a phone. They'll keep looking at that picture and looking at that picture. And what it does, it conditions their mind to say, yes, I can have that truck. Because when you first get it, you might not be able to see it. But over time, as you keep looking at it, I can't explain exactly what happens, but your mind will start conditioning and saying, I deserve it. I can see myself in it. And then before you know it, action starts happening. And you start taking action steps toward getting that truck. You'll start saving some money. You'll start noticing people around you. You'll see trucks just like it. And I'm saying truck, I'm using that for example, but whatever it is, you'll start attracting those things to you, and you'll start taking actions towards it, which draws it nearer. And before you know it, well, you have it. At the beginning of this year, actually it was last year, I told my wife that I wanted a particular truck, and I was like, that truck is the truck that I'm going to buy. I didn't even realize what I was saying. Literally, 2 months later, I bought that truck. It wasn't a truck like it. It was that particular truck that was under the garage of the person that I said I was going to buy that truck. That was my truck. I bought that exact truck. And it's funny because after I bought it, I didn't realize that I had said that. And, of course, you start thinking, and it's like, well, my God, I had that vision. I had that vision of seeing myself in that vehicle. So I got it. So again, it's not an easy thing to do, especially for people who this is new to. It seems silly, but it's very, very powerful. So as I work with clients, that's one of the main things. Well, it's the main thing that needs to be answered before we do anything. So there's a few things to talk about in finding that vision and what does it look like for you. And it's really as simple as, what do you want? What do you want? Well, I don't want to be in debt. I didn't ask what you don't want. I asked, what do you want? Well, it's real easy to go down the road of what you don't want because we know those things hurt, those things are painful. And I think so many of us, we go and we spend so much time we spend so much time on figuring out what we don't want that we make zero headway on what we actually do want. We never put any focus on it. We never put any time and effort on it. We never put any work into what we want. And, just for example, I spent so much of my life, like I mentioned, and those of you who've been following me for a while, I grew up in such a controlled environment. It was a limited mindset. It was a poverty mindset that I grew up in. And it wasn't till here recently that I was able to truly get rid of that. I don't live in fear. I don't live with a poverty mindset. I live with an abundance mindset. So, I'm in the insurance industry. I'm in the sales industry. Something that I do besides coaching. And one of the goals that I had with that was, I wanted to sell so many policies. That was my goal. If you'd asked me last year, the goal would have been, well, I just want enough, money to pay my bills this month. If you'd asked a year before that, it would have been, I just don't want debt collectors calling. If you'd asked a year before that, it would have been, I don't want things to be taken away. I don't want, it would have been the pain point that I would have been talking about. Now it's, what can I do? Where can I go? How much can I do? How much work could I put in? My work ethic now is nothing like it was a year ago, and absolutely nothing like it was over 5 years ago. If anybody would want to compete with work ethic, it would be a good challenge to have. So I would take you up on that. So the reason my work ethic is so strong is because I know exactly what I want. So it's easy to put in the effort towards it. So this year, I don't remember what my goal was, policies per month, but just to say, I sold 255 life policies in the month of January. Now, that's an extreme amount of policies. But here's the other thing with it. My work ethic was so strong, my vision was so clear on how I was going to get those policies that I sold 255 policies in the month of January, but I only worked 12 days or 6 days. I only worked 3 weeks. And the way I did it in 2 days a week. So let's just say 9 days, just in case I missed a couple. That's an enormous amount of policies sitting one-on-one with a person. It wasn't like a group policy thing. It was sitting one-on-one. But I had the vision of it. It was very clear. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I knew exactly where I was going to go. I knew exactly who I needed to help me. I have coaches and mentors just like many of you do. And you have to have a coach that's going to challenge you, but you also have to have a person, and it could be the same person who's been there before, that can mentor you and show you the ways that don't work and why it didn't work for him, or why what didn't work for him may work for you, something like that. But without the vision, you don't even know what person to look to. You don't even know really where you want to go. So you just wander around lost. So it keeps you at a place of really procrastination, because you're so busy and you feel like you're making headway, and you're moving and you're taking action, but it's on all the wrong things. So it's just like, in the Bible, whenever, oh God, I'm going to probably butcher this all up, but was it the Israelites that got stuck in the wilderness for 40 years? And all they had to do, it should have took them, was it 11 days? It should have been 11 days that they were able to get to the promised land, and it took them 40 years to get there because they didn't have a vision. They were living in fear. They knew they wanted to get there, but they couldn't really see it, And again, that's my opinion about what happened with them. Other people may be different, but it was the lack of vision that made the fear and procrastination stay in their lives, and what should have took 11 days took 40 years. Now I'm about to be 40 years old. And when I look back on my life, man, I could see those Israelite days in my life. I can see the fear just absolutely cripple me really my entire life up until recently. And it's because when I would start to have a vision, I would start to imagine myself there. The one thing that I would look to is, well, that can't happen for people like me. I grew up in a small town. I grew up poor. I can't because so-and-so's my dad. I can't because, I'm a high school dropout. I can't because you could fill in the blank. But the thing about vision, and the thing about desire that creates that vision, that's yours. That's yours. God put that in you. He didn't give me your vision, and He didn't give anyone else mine. That's something that belongs to you. So imagine that. I want you to think of the things that you want to do and the places you want to go, and more importantly, the person you want to be in the future. And I want you to imagine yourself and see yourself doing those things and being that person and living that house and having that relationship and having that occupation. Whatever it is that you want to do, I want you to imagine that. And then the next step is simple. Get you a vision board. Put a picture of it up there. To put it somewhere where you could see it every day. Then the next step is write it down. Like you need to write down where you want to go specifically. There's a big difference in having a goal and saying, I want to be a millionaire. That's great. To most of us, being a millionaire is amazing. And then there's another difference in, I want to have $900 million, right? There's a big difference. And I want to have $900 million by age 50. Okay, now we're getting very, very specific. So there's a big difference then, I want to be a millionaire versus I want this specific amount of money by this specific amount of time. So when you get real specific, that vision becomes clear. And when the vision becomes clear, then you could start taking action on it. And you don't even have to really think about it. It's like it comes naturally. Because you can see you don't have to know all the steps, but you can see the next step that you can take. Well, I can do this today. And then you do that. And then I might have to do this every day until XYZ happens. And then I could take that next step. And that's what you do. Again, it's simple, not easy, because things take time. And we live in a world that's, my God, we want everything right now. That's why we're all in debt. That's why we all get angry. We want it now. We don't want to wait. We don't want to put in the work. As a coach, I want to reference, I reference sports a lot. So, we talk about on season and off season. Well, let's just take softball, baseball, for example. We start training in January. High school ball starts training in January. They will practice every day for 2 or 3 months before their first game. And then to play, 20 games if they're lucky. So why do we put all that practice in the off season to go and play games? Why don't we just go play games? It's because it takes work. Because you have to create that vision. If a shortstop goes to pick up a ball, he has to know exactly what to do to pick up the ball. You can't just go and do it, especially if you've never done it before. So that's the importance of seeing and imagining where you want to go and what you want to do. So I encourage you today to do those steps. Get the board, get the vision board, write it down. Tell someone, get a coach, shoot me a private message. I'd love to hear what your vision is. I'd love to hear where you want to go. I'd love to help you along the way. I could talk to you about the failures that I've had and the letting other people influence my vision, which don't do that. You can't do that. That's yours. It belongs to you. Only you know it. So make sure you keep that close to your heart. And it's okay to tell other people, but understand that you're not wrong with it. Okay? That's yours. All right. Well, this concludes episode 2 of the Jacob Gospel Podcast. So thank you all for listening. Make sure you share this video, like it on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on every podcast platform that you're listening on. Make sure you like us on Facebook. And if you find any value in what I'm saying, please share this video. Well, we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.